Happy very last Friday of the year, everybody. We are so excited. We have another live today. I'm going to wait just a little bit for a couple people to hop on. Please remember that if you are driving, this will be available to watch later. So please don't watch right now. Set us off to the side. It will be available later for everybody to watch. But I'm going to hold on just a little bit, let a couple people hop on here. And then we have our safety director, Andy Bradford, that has a special safety message just to get us through the end of 2022 into 2023 and some exciting things going on. So I will wait a few more people hopping on here, and then I will turn it over to Andy. Perfect. Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay, hey everybody. Happy end of 2022. We made it through. It's been a pretty good year. Safety-wise, we did pretty good. It was a fantastic year. It's just been a fantastic, fun adventure for this year. So, couple of things that we just wanted to talk about. We thought that it would be a good thing to end off 2022 with kind of a safety talk, and going into 2023, we definitely want to have that good, safe mindset. So I've got a few reminders today, and then of course, lytics is always a big thing in our world. So I had a couple of updates and our end of year reports and stuff that I was going to talk about today. So, one of the things most of you driving all across this nation know about that wonderful white stuff we're all dealing with nationwide, coast to coast, border to border, all that wonderful snow. And so winter driving, it's an important thing that we have on our mindset right now. Make sure that we are slowing down and having the right speed for the right condition. And sometimes that condition may call for 0 miles an hour. We would rather park that vehicle if it's unsafe to do so. So if need be, the load is not nearly as important as the safety of you guys. So if it's getting bad out there and you guys need to stop, please do so. Just call and let us know. We're always going to work through that. You guys know we're always more safe than we are get the load there. So we want to get the load there, but we want to get it there as safely as possible. Next thing about that is Carrier's Edge. I want to take a minute to talk about Carrier's Edge. As you all know, it's a lot of you feel like that's a pain in your side, and it's a drag that you have to take a little bit of time and do that online training and that continuous training. And we do those videos every month, but as you guys probably know, and if you didn't know, if you'll look at it, we assign certain videos for certain times of the year for reminders of certain topics we need to know about. And a lot of you guys are fantastic about actually logging in, doing those in a timely nature. We really need to keep up with them. Every time we sign a new video, it needs to be done that same month. There are some of you that are caught up every single month, and that is fantastic, and we appreciate that. There are some of you that could use a little more attention on that and that are a couple months behind. So winter driving is a big thing right now, so we've assigned a couple of winter driving videos in the last few months that would be really helpful in this time of weather. Right now, we show as a fleet that there's a little over 200 videos that could be done. And so if you are not caught up on those videos, please log into your Carrier's Edge. Let's get those updated. Get through that training. That way we have that good, fresh knowledge. We'd really appreciate that. Haley, your new hours of service gal this year, she had a couple of reminders that we wanted to talk about this year. It is a regulation that you guys are supposed to be certifying those logs every single day. Please make sure that every day, whenever you guys are starting your shift, that the first thing you do before you pull out with the truck is make sure you certify your daily log. If it's not certified and you get pulled over, that is a DOT violation, and it's as easy as reviewing that log and clicking a button. So let's make sure we're certifying our logs every single day. Another thing, we've had some people using PC or yard move incorrectly, and so if you've done that, you've probably heard from Haley or maybe even Josh Green. But with PC, make sure we can't be under a load and we can't advance in the direction of our load. So make sure you're taking that in consideration. We can't use it to extend our day. We can't use it to essentially work in any way. So make sure you keep that in mind before you try to use that PC. There's just been a couple of issues pop up recently, so we just wanted to remind you about that. The other thing that popped up was we've got some folks using yard move incorrectly. To be able to use that yard move option, you have to be in a gated facility. So if you imagine Joplin facility and it's gated, it's fully fenced in, once you get behind that gate, that's the purpose of a yard move, that you are on a secured gated facility. It's been brought to our attention that a certain site in East Camden, they have you park at a fuel stop, and then we end up, whenever they call us and tell us to come on in, we're having to jump across the road and drive down a mile or two before we can get in their gate and get on that facility. That time where we're on that public street and highway, we cannot be using yard move, okay? So we've got to use that on-duty drive time just like we normally would have. Once you got in the gated facility, if you had time to switch over to yard move, you could definitely do that. But you have to be behind that gate on that gated facility before we can use that yard move, okay? Another thing that's been a real hot topic, especially with TSA being delayed and stuff on their background checks, make sure that you're aware of what the expiration dates on your qualifications are. Qualifications like your CDL with your hazmat on it, your TWIC card, those are the two really big ones. If you are coming anywhere close within a month or two of those expiration dates, make sure that's actively on your mind and we're starting to take care of that. TSA and FMCSA had an exception out there where they were given an extension for TSA. That expires on the 31st where they're no longer giving that. We are hoping that they go ahead and issue out another extension for that, but we have not seen that come through yet. So be mindful of your qualifications. Be mindful that it takes time to get those qualifications done, to get them on your MVR, because they have to show on your state motor vehicle record before we can let you drive again. We've had some people that wait to the last minute and then they're delayed being able to drive again. So things like once you get your physical, make sure you get that new DOT physical in plenty of time, that you can get it registered with your state. That way you're still legal and qualified to drive. Because we really don't want you to be stuck on the side of the road not being able to run down the road because your qualifications have expired. The other qualification that's a big one right now, everybody knows that Canada dropped their vaccine mandate a while back. So if you don't have that passport and Quebec explosive permit, if you want to start working on that and stuff, that would be a great adventure to be able to do. We've got some couple port moves coming up, port moves going on, that it's really fantastic for as many drivers qualified to be able to do those loads as possible. So if you have any questions about that, Quebec explosive permit, you can reach out to Brandon Showers or Kyla in HR. They can help you through those processes for the Quebec explosive permit. Otherwise, passport and Quebec explosive, they're really valuable for those Canadian loads that we're doing right now. So kind of brings me to our Lytics yearly update. We're getting a lot of reports, annual reports, because it's the end of the year. And they're letting us know kind of how we're doing. We just got an annual report from SDDC for our government and how we're doing on our messaging. We've done really, really fantastic in the last year on our messaging. So thanks, Dan Garcia and all the team, the driver managers that have been working on that. And then you guys, the drivers, being compliant and doing what you guys know you need to do every day. It's really going a long ways with the customers. It's going a long way, just making everything smooth, showing that we're the company that we know we can be, and always striving to be better every single day. So thanks for that. SDDC appreciates it, and that we're sending through the right messages at the right time. And then Lytics yearly update. So you know me, Lytics has kind of been my baby. I've kind of taken care of her for a long time. And it excites me whenever there's good news come through. We just got our Lytics yearly update and how we've done for the last year. You guys have worked your tails off. Of course, your driver managers have pestered you and let you know coaching on your driving habits, the things that we really just hate to do, but we really have to step back and evaluate what we're doing in every situation and making the best safe decision in every possibility. Um, I'm happy to see the numbers come through. Our lytics events dropped by 20% this year. And that is a fantastic number. You guys have been working your tails off on getting those numbers down, and we really appreciate it. Even on top of that, the severity of our events that we've been having come through, that's dropped by almost 20% as well, 19.5% in the last year. Which means that if we had a following distance alert, maybe we had a following distance alert at 2 seconds a year ago, that's now at 3 or 4 second following distance. So we've even fixed that. If it was a speed alert and it was a 10-mile-an-hour over speed alert, now maybe it's a 5-mile-an-hour. So even the events that we are still flagging, they're getting better. So I appreciate that with you guys, the company, everybody involved. Our numbers on that particular portal coming down, it helps everybody from operations to the driver to safety. Our dash cam numbers being low is beneficial to everybody in the whole entire system. So I appreciate that. Keep up the great work. There is still some work that we need to do in the next coming year. Be sure to be very aware of your speed limits. Everybody knows I was a driver too, and we all know that there's those speed traps out there. Whether it's a speed trap or not, we get caught. The thing is whether it's a speed trap or not, we were caught. And so make sure that you know your speed limits. Make sure you're paying attention to your signs. We just had a driver, and it's a bad situation. It's the very definition of a speed trap. It goes from 60-mile-an-hour speed limit to a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. And as soon as he got to that speed limit sign and he wasn't down to that 40-mile-an-hour, that cop was sitting there waiting to pull him over. And so make sure by the time we get to that sign, we're at that speed limit. Make sure we're following them. Be aware of your road signs. As you guys know, we all have to be aware of our surroundings all the time. And so speed limits are probably the most important. Speed is also one of the most important things about our winter weather as well. Being prepared for it, keep an eye on your weather, make sure we're slowing down for conditions when need to, so forth and so on. We got any questions?
We did have Teresa asked if somebody had a question about how to log into Carrier's Edge, who do they contact?
They can contact Terry Wimberly, or if you guys, for all the apps and all the items that we use, whether it be Lytics or Carrier's Edge or the card control app for your fuel card, everybody uses the RMG Connect app. And that app, in the drop down menu, there's an option for your I just went brain dead. It's called an app drawer. It's called the app drawer. If you will click on that app drawer, it's got all the different options for those apps in that website that we use. So there's one in there for Carrier's Edge. If you'll click that, it will give you the quick link to either the website or to download the app on your phone. And then it will also tell you your login information in there as well. And that also goes for your Lytics driver app or the Catscales app, all those different apps that we use. If you'll go to your drop down menu, app drawer, it'll tell you those directions on how to get logged in.
No more questions at this point.
That's pretty much all the topics that I had that I needed to cover today. Happy New Year to all of you drivers out there, all of our office folks, from the safety department to everybody out there. We just want to tell you Happy New Year. Anybody who's driving tomorrow night, make sure it is New Year's, so there's going to be some crazies out. Make sure you're on high alert. Let's be the safest one on the road. And you guys just have a great and happy New Year. We're looking forward to a great 2023.